Welcome to Week 18 of NFL
Last week of the
Sportsbook.
season.
Last week, oh my God. Boy, it's been a hell of a week, hasn't it? It was sad as hell. That Monday Night Football game blew my mind, man. I'm still
Wow.
tore up about it. When it first happened and I seen what was going on and heard that they was giving him CPR, I knew the game would be canceled, and I was glad it was. I was hollering for it to be canceled. Ain't no way I
As
could
it
play.
should've been.
If I watched one of my homeboys laying out there about dead,
Distraught.
Dying.
That was nuts.
don't know what the hell's going on. I mean, all kinds of. Could you imagine the stuff that'd be going through your head, man? I mean, that's just a scary
One can only
situation,
imagine.
man. I can't, and I pray for him every night. I've been praying for him, and hopefully he'll recover. He's a good kid, man. I looked into his background a
Very
little bit.
charitable.
Very charitable, just a good kid, good person, period, man. Good man. And my thoughts and prayers are with them, and let's hope for a speedy recovery. It was a
Absolutely.
horrible situation. But we got football to go, so that kind of puts things in perspective, though, huh?
It
Sometimes we get mad at our players for not hitting their stats and this and that,
Yeah.
but that makes you realize they're humans, and hey, man, they actually put their lives on the line every time they go out there. That's
It's
a
a
fact.
dangerous sport.
When I was young, there was a wide receiver named Darryl Stingley. He got hit by a Jack Tatum from Oakland Raiders. Oh my, paralyzed.
Big
him.
old boy.
It was horrible, man.
I remember him.
That was one of the scariest things I ever seen. But this one here topped it by a mile. But anyway, let's pray everything comes out good for him and his family, and we'll keep them in our thoughts and prayers. So let's get on with our first pick. This is a wild weekend. If I was you, I would make sure you're before you make your bets who is starting everywhere. So far, I've seen that most teams are starting everybody. They're all still meaningful games. People trying to move up and down, get position, what seed they are. So everyone's going to play. It's going to be very competitive. Our first game is the Chiefs and the Raiders. Raiders played pretty
It's
decent
going to
last
be a good
week,
game,
didn't
I
they?
think.
Yeah.
That's
I think
a
it is
big
too.
line.
Justin, my God,
Had
I
a
forgot.
hell of a week.
Had a hell of a week last week. He's the first one between us.
I hit 11. I
He
hit
hit 11 games.
picks. Could have hit more. Wasn't paying attention who was starting between a couple of games. But I hit 11.
Hey,
11.
11 is good. That's a
really
great
good.
week, 11. 11 is a great week. I'm serious. It's an awesome week. I've had 10 3 times, but I can't get 11. I've had some bad luck, man. I hit 8 games last week. I had the Buffalo game. Of course, can't count that. I don't even know what's going to happen with that. Do you?
I
Are
don't
you gonna
think
play it.
I don't think they play that game. I don't know where they can fit that in.
Well, if that's the case, and since if the Chiefs win, they're going to be number 1 seed. It looks like.
Yeah, per
They're going to be
percentage.
tough to beat. And okay, let's get back to our first game here. Just the Chiefs and the Raiders. Raiders played really good last week.
They
It
did.
looked good. The quarterback looked good, Stidham. 9.5. I'm going to go ahead and ride with. I don't know why. I'm going to ride with my Raiders the last time. Home game. They're getting 9.5. Chiefs probably blow them out, but I'm going to go ahead and take my Raiders.
I think this is it's going to be closer than 9.5. I think that's a good pick, Brian. Chiefs are going to win this game. They're going to secure that number 1 seed. 52.5. That's a bit of points. Chiefs score sometimes, and sometimes that defense takes over. I'm going to be safe. I'm going to take Kansas City's money on.
All righty. Oh, my God, this is a very exciting game. My buddy, I bet's jumping out of his pants right now. The Titans going down to Jacksonville to play the Jags. This is going to be a hell of a game. I do not like the 6-point spread whatsoever. I like the Jags in this game, though. I definitely like the Jags. So what I'm going to do is 39.5. I'm going to go ahead and take the Jags and over that, Justin. I'm going to go out on a limb. It's probably going to be a slow paced,
I
running
think so.
game. It's
I
probably
do.
going to be a low scoring game, but I'm going to go ahead and take the Jags and over.
I'm going to take the Jags money line. That line there, that 39.5, I always go over that. But the Titans are about on their 4th or 5th string quarterback. So I think they're going to lean heavily on Derrick Henry in that run, which is going to slow the pace of that game down tremendously. I think the Jags win this. They're at home, and I think they get this playoff. They make the playoffs with this game, excuse me. I'm going to take the Jags money line.
All righty, Just, let's move on to our next game, the Jets versus the Dolphins. Jets are actually favored by a point.
It's a pick 'em game.
It's definitely a pick 'em game. Jets have looked horrible. Horrible.
Dolphins haven't looked much better either.
They haven't. I think they've lost 5 straight, haven't they?
This is going to be a horrible game, I feel like.
And both of their quarterbacks are injured. Tua's not going to play. Bridgewater is iffy. Then what's the next? Skylar Thompson, I guess. He's been taking reps this week, so
he's
he may get the start. But Bridgewater, I think, will tough it out and probably a start. I don't know about this, man. I'm going to go ahead. They're both playing, horrible as far as I can see, and I'm going to go ahead and take the home team just to be on the safer side. It's a pick'em game, so I'm going to pick the Dolphins to win.
I'm going to go the same way. I'm going to take the Dolphins money line. I think Bridgewater plays. He still has that offensive weapons. I think they win this game. The Jets have been playing absolutely horrible. Dolphins haven't played much better, but they have the more efficient offense. They got the better team when healthy. That 38.5, that's a little high for me for this game. This is not going to be a high-scoring game, I don't feel like. But I'm going to be safe, and I'm going to take Miami at home. I'm going to take their money line.
Boy, that Jets team is like deja vu. Like last year, you remember last year that Mike White went in, threw for 400 yards, 3 touchdowns, blah, blah, and then the next 2 games he bombed. Same thing happened this year. They're in bad shape, man. I don't know what the hell they're going to do, but yeah, I like the Dolphins in that game, no doubt. All righty, let's move on to our next game. Hey, red hot Steelers, I can say. They're getting a little lucky, but they're playing well too. Look, they got the best coach in football as far as I'm concerned. He's a bad man, son.
He's been the most consistent in the last 15 years. That's for
he
damn
definitely
sure.
has. He does not have
outside of Belichick.
Yeah, he's awesome, man. He's a great head coach. I like the Steelers. They're favored by 2.5. I think they cover easily. I'm gonna go ahead. I'm taking the Steelers.
That 2.5. I think this is gonna be a close game. Actually, I think the Steelers win this. At 2.5 is probably sitting right, perfect. They won by 3 last week. I think that's going to be as close as that. I think it's going to come down to the last possession. I said weeks ago Steelers going to make a run and make the playoffs. I'm going to stick with that. I think.
Yeah, Steelers are hot. I tell you what, I wouldn't want to face them the first round in the playoffs. Ain't no doubt about that, man. They got what it takes to win the playoffs. They got a good running game, decent running game, great defense, and a great coach, man.
Defense wins Super Bowls and championships.
It sure does. All righty, let's move on to our next game. This is a meaningless game, if there is one.
The second most horrible game this week.
Texans against the Colts. Texans are getting 2.5, and the way the Colts are playing, they should be getting 6.5. Colts just look horrible, man. I don't know. This game here is another pick'em game to me. I'm going to go ahead and take the Colts, a home team. Hopefully they win their last game and go out on a decent note anyway.
I don't know which way to go with this one either. This is probably another game that just throw it out the window as far as betting goes. This is a pick'em game. They got the Colts 2.5 at. I don't want to make a pick on this one because I really have no idea. That 38.5, I don't think either team scores. That looks about right to me. I'm gonna be safe though. Colts are at home. I hope they go out on a high note, like Brian said. I'm gonna take the Colts money line, and I'm gonna lean towards that under, but I'm gonna be safe and take Colts money line.
Here's a tricky game right here, as far as I'm concerned. The Bucks against the Falcons, and the reason it's tricky is because the Bucks don't need this game whatsoever. They could rest everybody. They're locked in.
But they're not.
That
baffles me too.
They're playing everyone, risking everyone getting hurt before the playoffs. I don't understand it, but I don't know. I just don't understand. I don't know how to. They're 4.5-point underdogs, and I think the Falcons are going to cover. I don't know, but then again, you think, well, they can just play wide open. You know what I mean? They got nothing to lose. They can try stuff. And it might work. This is a tricky game. I'm going to stay away from this game as far as my money goes. But as far as picking it, I'm going to go ahead and take the Falcons, and hopefully they'll win.
I'm gonna stay away from this one too. There's a handful of games this week. Last game of the season, you have no idea what the hell teams are going to do, especially the teams that have already clinched playoff seeds. I want to say I'm gonna go with the Bucks here. They're underdogs. I think they try some shit, like Brian said. They do still have offensive weapons. I think they try to do different things to repetition with that offense. I'm going to take the Bucks money line.
You know what, Justin? I don't know why. Just looking at this, I just changed my mind. I'm not taking either one of them. I'm just going to go ahead and take over. That's what I'm going to do.
I seen that too.
I'm going to take over 40.5 because you know what? They're both can play wide open. Falcons got nothing to lose because they ain't won nothing.
They ain't won nothing.
Bucks have got nothing to lose, so they can try whatever. So I think it's going to be a wild game. I'm going to go ahead and take the over now. That's what I'm going to do. I think that's the safer bet. My opinion.
I think that is too. Honestly, that over and under is a little bit weird because the Bucks don't really score that much, even if they're playing wide open. I would lean towards that. I would lean towards that over just because it's a meaningless game. But I'm going to take the Bucks money line. I might be wrong this week, but I've stuck with the Bucks all year. I'm going to stick with them this week.
All righty, let's move on to our next game. Panthers, man, that killed them last week, losing that game, didn't it? I thought they might sneak in there, you know.
Oh, no.
Surely did. They're playing the Saints, and Saints are favored by 3.5. Saints looked really good last week, didn't they, against Philadelphia? They kicked Philadelphia's ass, buddy. They really did. I think they had 6 sacks. Defense looked awesome. That was the defense that everybody was anticipating at the start of the year. They've been playing like that all year. It's hard telling where they'd be right now. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to take the Saints in this game, Justin. Give you the 3.5.
This is a weird one for me, too. I feel like the Panthers are going to bounce back this week. They're going into New Orleans. Those are weird lines to me. It's more than a field goal, less than a touchdown. 41.5, that's another weird one to me. 21-20. Have to be a 24-17 game, really. I don't know this one. I'm going to take a wild guess on this one. I'll probably stay away from this one, too. It's another one that it could go either way. It's meaningless. I'm going to take the Panthers money line on that upset.
All right, let's move on to our next game. The Pats and the Bills. This is a wild one, man. Poor old Bills. I don't know
which way to go on this one.
I don't know how they're going to be playing. I mean, they're dealing with some issues right now, man. That kid is, like I said, that kid's fighting for his life, and that's not just their teammate. That's their homie. That's their brother, man, their friend. I mean, them tears were real. It's gonna be tough for the Bills to play. It really is. I think they rally though and win this game. 7 points, I don't know, but I'm gonna go ahead. I'm riding with the Bills. I'll give you the 7 points, Justin.
I'm gonna take their money line. I think they are professionals. Outside of that, I think they come and take care of business because they're still vying for that #1 seed, and home field advantage is huge for Buffalo this playoffs. And nobody wants to go up in Buffalo and play them. I'm gonna take the Bills money line. I think they win this pretty easily.
That's going to be a weird situation. What are they going to do about that game? They're probably.
I don't think they play that. I don't see where they can fit that in the schedule.
Somebody was saying they might do it like in between the playoff deal, but I don't know, man. I mean, it definitely affects the playoffs.
It does. It affects that AFC seeding of.
I don't know.
That's huge. That was the biggest game of the year so far.
Bills have had some bad luck, have they not, over the years? Man, they have, and it's time for that bad luck to break, man. I wish the best for them. I really do. I hope this kid recovers. I hope they win the Super Bowl this year. I really do, man. I think a lot of people's probably going to feel like that. All righty, just let's move on to our next game. My beloved Bears, I'm supporting them today. Last week.
Lost the bet.
You know, when you're from Chicago and you grow up with the Cubs, I waited till 2016. I'll never forget that. Never. When you grow up with the Cubs, you always say, next year.
We have one now.
Next year. You're used to this. So
we'll wait another 100 years.
So I'm going to wait. Maybe next year my Bears will be relevant and be doing something. This year, however, they're not. I'm going to go ahead and take the Vikings because they are relevant. And they're playing pretty well. They didn't play too well last week, but I like the Vikings. And I'll give you the 7.5, Justin.
Justin Fields is not playing this game. I think this is going to be a blowout. I'm going to be safe, though. I'm going to take Minnesota's money line.
All right, let's move on to our next game. Here's another Bengals, man. This is a big game for them against the Ravens. I don't know if Lamar's coming back this week. More than likely, if they've already made the playoffs, I doubt it. So I'm going to go ahead and take the Bengals, man. I'll give you the 6.5.
This is a weird one, too. I'm not sure what mind state the Bengals will be in. The Ravens are starting a backup quarterback. This one could go either way. Bengals are at home, though. I'm going to take the Bengals money.
I don't think Lamar's starting. I think they're going to rest him for the playoffs.
I think, yeah.
All right, let's move on to our next game. The Giants looked played really well last week, man. Well, look what they were playing, our Colts, but they're 14-point underdogs at Philadelphia.
It's a big line.
Hurts is back this week.
It's a big line.
Over and under is 42.5. That is a huge line, man. What the hell's going on?
That's big. They're giving Philly way too much credit here.
Giants have made the playoffs. I mean, are they starting everybody, or? I mean, this game means everything to Philadelphia. It means probably nothing to the Giants. I don't think they can move up and down in the playoff picture. 14 is a lot, man. That is a lot. You know, I do one safe one a week, and this is going to be my safe one. I don't want to give you them points, and I don't want to take them because I really don't know who all is going to be playing for the Giants if they're going to, you know, they can say they're playing everybody, and then in the middle of the game,
One
you know,
series, yeah.
set everybody down. I'm not playing that route. I'm going to go ahead and take the Eagles and over is what I'm going to do, Justin.
This one, as I've looked at this for about 30 minutes now. I want to take the Giants, Brian. I really do. I feel like Philly missteps and somebody jumps them. I think the Cowboys get home for the
They
finish.
lost 2 in a row, so Philly has. And we don't know if that hurts. We don't know what's going on with him.
He might still be injured. This one is a weird ass game. Another one. There's only about 5 games that honestly I will put money on this week because you have no idea.
This ain't one of them.
This
For me.
I want to take the Giants. Everything in me tells me to take the Giants. Philly. This is Philly's really season right here.
Yeah.
They lose. They're going on the road the whole playoffs. They've lost. They lost their one game on the road, didn't they?
Yeah.
I don't think they're that good on the road. They struggle.
They do. Colts almost beat them. Colts should have beat them.
I think Philly wins this. I want to take the Giants at 14 points. It's a lot of points. If the Giants play their starters and players, I'm gonna be safe though. Philly's at home. They need this. They have to have this game. I'm gonna take the Philly money line.
All righty, let's move on to our next game. Old Baker Mayfield and the Rams going to Seattle to play the Seahawks. Seahawks looked pretty good last week, didn't they? Against the
They
old
did.
sorry-ass Jets. But I tell you what, man, I'm taking the Seahawks in this, Justin. I don't like the 6.5. 41.5 is over and under. Rams don't score a lot, but I'm going to go ahead and take the over in this. I'm going to take the Seahawks and over.
That's a bold one.
Yep.
I'm gonna stick with the Seahawks again this week. They beat the Jets last week. I'm taking a lot of home teams this week. I've noticed that already. Because they're at home, I'm gonna take Seattle's money line.
All right, let's move on to our next game, which is your beloved Broncos. Woo! And they at least played competitive last week against the Chiefs, man.
Next year.
Next year, we'll see, right? Chargers are 2.5-point underdogs. They're pretty much locked in as well, but they're saying they're playing everybody. Herbert's playing, everyone's playing. I'm taking the Broncos, and I'll give you the 2.5.
I'm gonna take the Broncos money line. I think the Chargers are gonna play 1-2 series with their starters and rest them the rest of the game. Honestly, I think the Broncos win this. I'm gonna take Denver's money line.
All righty, let's move on to our next game. Oh wow, another 14-point spread. The Cardinals against the red hot 49ers. Man, they are hot, son. They are a tough ass team. Raiders played it pretty damn tough last week, though, didn't they?
They did.
It was a great game, overtime game. They won by 3. I like the 49ers in this game. The over and under is 40.5. I don't like the 14, man. I just don't. I just don't like it at all. They're still playing for something, though. They can get the number 1 seed still. So I'm going to go ahead and take. They do have a shot at the number 1 seed, don't they?
They do.
I'm pretty
Philly-
sure they
if
do.
Philly
Yeah,
loses.
but they'd have to be a loss. I think Dallas and Philly both from that.
Dallas and Philly.
Yeah.
They're still in it. Packers.
Yeah.
Packers are still in it by losses and some wild ass games. Anything can happen in the NFL.
I'm going to go ahead and take the 49ers, and the over and under is 40.5. I'm going to go ahead and take the over in that, Justin.
I like the over bet. I really do. I feel like there's going to be one upset here. Cardinals getting 14 points. Giants getting 14 points. I think that's the first week there's been that.
One of them's going to cover.
I think one of them is going to cover. I think the Giants cover that. I don't think the Cardinals cover. I'm going to be safe. I've been safe as hell this week. I'm going to take San Francisco's money line because they're going.
All right, let's move on to our next one. The old Cowboys, Dallas Cowboys going down to Washington, play the Commanders. I hate saying Commanders. It sounds so stupid. I want to say Redskins every time I see Washington. And anyway, It's the different times and different era, and we got to move on with the times. So the Commanders are 7.5-point underdogs. Over and under's 40.5. I'm taking the Commanders. What the hell? If you're going to give me 7.5,
You read my mind on that one.
I'm taking Commanders, man.
You really did. I wanted to go that, but I think Dallas has a time going into Washington. I really do. I feel like they win this game, but I feel like it's closer than that 7.5 points. I really do. I think it's going to be within a field goal. I think Dallas ultimately wins, though. Misstep by Philly. I feel like Dallas gets home field advantage. I really do. I feel like something tells me that Philly's going to misstep this week.
It's going to be a wild deal.
I'm going to take Dallas's money line, though.
Wouldn't it be a hell of a storyline if Philly does miss? I mean, if they lose everything, home field advantage, and then lose in the first round, my God, that would be unbelievable.
I don't have Philly going that far in the playoffs. I really don't.
That's what injuries can do to a football team. One injury, man, can just destroy your chemistry, your everything. It's just horrible, man.
Especially, I don't have them going far, especially if they lose Sunday. I really do. I think they go in the first round.
Yeah, I do too. Honestly, I actually do too. If they lose Sunday, I think they're done. I think they're out of the first round. I really do believe that. All right, let's move on to our next game here. Last one. Lions gets the Packers. Should be a great game. Definitely meaningful. Definitely for both of them. Lions win, they're in, I think. Mm-hmm. And Packers, I think they control their own destiny. Packers win, they're in. I like the Pack, man. They're giving 4.5. Over and under's 49.5. I tell you what, I'm going to take the Pack and under. I know that's kind of wild because Detroit scores a lot, but if the Pack wins this game, it's going to be because of their defense. Their defense is playing very well as well. I like the Pack and under, Justin.
This is another game that's going to be weird. Pay attention to the Seattle Rams game. Seattle loses, they're out. If Seattle wins, I think the Packers win this game. If Seattle loses, I feel like the Packers, they're destined to make the playoffs. I think they rest people. I don't think they fully rest them, but I think they let off the gas a little bit.
Packers are playing first, though, ain't they? Is this a late game?
They switched it. This is a late game now. It was a 1 o'clock game. They switched it to I think it's Sunday Night Football now, actually.
Packers? Wow, I did not know that.
So everybody pay attention to that Seattle Rams game. The outcome of that one. If Seattle wins, I think the Packers obviously got to show up in Lambeau Field. There's no way they lose this game. This is my lock for the week. I'm gonna take the Packers money line. 49.5. That's a lot of points. I feel like it's gonna be a defensive game actually.
Hey, the Packers own Detroit over the years, but I tell you what, Detroit, you just never know though, Justin.
They can score.
Detroit can score. Look what they did with Buffalo.
Score.
They hung right tooth and nail with Buffalo the whole game, man.
I feel if Seattle loses for whatever reason, they're at home. They shouldn't lose. They shouldn't lose to the Rams. But if Seattle loses, I will take Detroit, and you can give me that 4.5. If Seattle wins, I'm gonna take the Packers money line.
I'm taking the Pack all day. I don't care who wins or loses right there, buddy. But that's a good little thing. All righty, that was our last one, man. Hey, thank you everyone out there for helping us, man. You
hell of a season.
It's been a hell of a season. And if you want us to come back, guess what? We're still 12 short.
You got the playoffs.
Yeah, and we're gonna be here in the playoffs too. 12 short, 12 subscribers short of reaching our little modest goal, so we can come back. So please hit the like button, subscribe, share with your friends. If you know anybody that likes football, if you know anybody that don't like football, just like to hear a couple goofy guys talk, hit subscribe, man. Please help us out. I really, truly appreciate it. I want to come back next year. We're going to have a different setup. It's going to be a lot better, more cameras. We're going to try to compete.
I have special guests. A lot more stuff.
We're going to have a lot more things going on. We might even do some other sports this year. We don't know yet. I might do some boxing. I'm thinking about it. But anyway, hit the like button, subscribe, and help me build this channel, please. I really appreciate it. Before I get off, I want to say again, man, DeMar Hamlin, hey, we're praying for you, brother. Hope to God you recover, man. God's with you. We're with you. Fast and speedy recovery. God bless everyone. Football's coming.